AIDS to highlight the situation of children and young people living with and affected by the pandemic.
By seeking to be involved in this partnership to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS, particularly with children, we feel that this fits very nicely with the spirit of cricket, where we're seeking to go beyond what happens on the cricket ground, to use the events that happen on the cricket ground and the popularity of the sport to raise awareness of the problems that children face.
Through high-profile activities around cricket's biggest event, the ICC will support the Unite for Children, Unite Against AIDS campaign, launched at the United Nations in 2005 by UNICEF, UNAIDS and many other partners.
We are very pleased to have the International Cricket Council as a partner because they reach 2 billion people. And through the Cricket Council, we can have the opportunity to give messages about children and AIDS and how important it is that the world focus on this critical issue.
I'm really delighted about this groundbreaking initiative between the International Cricket Council, UNAIDS, UNICEF, and the Caribbean Broadcast Media Partnership. With this focus on AIDS, the Cricket World Cup and its stars will be hitting a new and significant boundary in the response to AIDS.
Unite for Children, Unite Against AIDS aims to prevent the transmission of HIV from mothers to their children, to provide treatment for children infected with HIV, to prevent young people from becoming infected in the first place, and to protect children orphaned or made vulnerable by the disease.
How is HIV affecting children?
Leading cricketers have recorded messages on the impact of AIDS on children and young people. As part of the partnership, their 30-second public service announcements will be made available to broadcasters all over the world.
Hi, I'm Maka Anthony.
I'm Ian Bradshaw.
I'm Ian Bell, Unite for Children.
Unite for Children.
Unite Against AIDS.
The Caribbean Broadcast Media Partnership on HIV/AIDS, a coalition of more than 50 broadcasters, will also launch its regional Live Up campaign, which aims to inspire Caribbean audiences, especially young people, to live up by taking action to prevent the spread of HIV and fighting stigma and discrimination.
The Live Up campaign, coinciding simultaneously with the ICC Cricket World Cup, is intended to demonstrate the kind of synergy and the hope and possibilities as regional broadcasters that we have, and what cricket brings to us as a region as a unifying force.
As the world of cricket arrives in the West Indies, the partnership will seek to highlight the spirit of cricket and to engage the world about the impact of HIV and AIDS on children and young people everywhere.
Large beach and pool parties are not ideal in this COVID environment, but keeping just a few friends close while in the water is actually a good idea. So here's another pointer. They say the more the merrier, and when you're planning on spending a day of fun in the water, that might be what you want to do. Swimming with someone else, especially when doing aquatic activities, is a standard safety practice. If you're by yourself and there's an emergency, having someone to call for help or assist is much better than struggling alone.
Swimming with a buddy, not swimming alone, allowing you to have the ability to have somebody with you if you get into trouble. It's nice to be able to go in on a social environment with a buddy and be able to talk and enjoy the environment.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Digital Media.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation says the state of Grand Bahamas Airport is heartbreaking. Also, hear why one captain is calling for the North Abaco port to be utilized to its maximum capacity. And the former director of news reflecting on the establishment of ZNS Northern Edition 31 years ago. The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
evening, Bahamas. I'm Shoshana Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments making his first contribution to the House of Assembly this morning. The minister says that the time for talking has passed and it is now time for action. In this report, he says that it must be a new day for Grand Bahama as it relates to the international airport and the island's Anchor Hotel property. Megan Shepard reports.
The Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, noting in the House of Assembly that this government is committed to the redevelopment of Family Island airports as they are critical for the return of tourism. While expressing his disappointment with the current state of the Grand Bahama International Airport following major destruction due to Hurricane Dorian, Minister Cooper says that it breaks his heart every time he lands on Grand Bahama.
The Grand Bahama International Airport, including the air traffic control tower and the fire station, needs to be developed and will be, and outfitted with the equipment needed to do the job safely. There is no doubt that the Grand Bahama International should belong to the Bahamian people, and while we believe that the deal in place could have been improved so that there is less of a burden on the Bahamian Treasury, you will now see swift and decisive action over the next few months.
The island has been without pre-clearance for some time now, following the destruction of the international airport. Minister Cooper had this update.
Tied to the Grand Bahama International Airport is a U.S. pre-clearance facility that our administration hopes to be able to return to Grand Bahama once traffic improves. This is a short-term priority and more will be discussed over the next few weeks.
He adds that he also met with the board of the Lucayan Renewal Holdings and commends the members for the work that they have been doing thus far. However, the investments minister reiterated his sentiments that he believes the purchase of the hotel was a bad deal on the behalf of the former government.
In fact, the deal the former administration was prepared to enter into was worse than I thought. After the government pumped over $150 million into this property, the group at the table wanted a loan from the government to develop the property, which they were only interested in developing during the second half of the decade.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the COVID emergency orders have governed the country for the past 18 months now, outlining rules and restrictions as it relates to stopping the spread of the deadly virus. However, those orders are set to expire in a matter of days. The Minister of Health and Wellness tabling 2 new pieces of legislation today that will govern the handling of the pandemic going forward.
The Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, during his contribution in the House of Assembly, noting that the existing emergency orders implemented by the former government are set to expire as of November 13th. Minister Darville noting that these orders will officially be replaced by 2 new legislative rules, namely the Health Service COVID-19 Prevention and Management of Community Spread Rules 2021 and the Health Services COVID-19 General Rules 2021.
The second set of rules, called the Health Services COVID-19 General Rules 2021, speak to the management of COVID-19 in the country, essential COVID-19 protocols, COVID-19 testing supplies, facilities, and reporting of results. It also outlines the process regarding enforcement of these rules and the penalties for non-compliance. Another important component of these rules is the appointment of an advisory committee that will be comprised of experts in epidemiology, supply management, logistics, health service administration, and public health, among others.
Since coming into office in September, the Progressive Liberal Party has eased a number of rules and restrictions. Minister Darville noting that despite the changes, the number of COVID-19 positive cases are still decreasing.
And in recent weeks, the COVID cases counts and the nation positivity rates have been falling. On Saturday, for example, there were 11 positive cases of the 385 PCR tests conducted, for a positivity rate of 2%. This represents extraordinary progress. We are pleased to note that this improvement took place despite the changing the curfews that they said caused the spikes in the cases. Instead, the opposite happened.
The health minister also adding that the country is expected to receive a second tranche of the Pfizer vaccine next week.
We are also negotiating with the United States and via other diplomatic channels to bring into country the Pfizer-approved vaccine for children under the age of 12. Vaccine uptake among children and teenagers will help to pave the way to a safe reopening of our schools. But I want to be clear that this vaccine will be made available to children should their parents request it. I want to say that again. It's not mandatory. It is important that the parent approve.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, also from Parliament tonight, the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Myles Zarota, giving an account of areas under his portfolio. We have this report. Contribution in Parliament, the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Myles Zarota, gave an update on NIB in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco.
And to be quite blunt, it's totally unacceptable, not only for the visiting public, but for the employees of those institutions.
The minister says he met with staff at BIS on his recent trip to Grand Bahama, but here's why he says it is a new day at BIS.
Madam Speaker, I congratulate Elcourt Colby on his appointment as director at BIS.
When it comes to ZNS, he says a new chairman and a board of directors are already in place.
I would also like to inform the staff at BIS that this government has taken the bold decision to move BIS towards an institution where its employees would become permanent and pensionable.
The minister, who is also responsible for NEMA and the DRA, also toured Abaco and the Keys, as well as East Grand Bahama, and witnessed firsthand the devastation of Dorian that remains.
The individuals will be gazetted shortly. The work will begin immediately to solidify BCB as the leader in broadcasting and entertainment in both radio and television in the country. I have received many complaints with regards to the physical conditions and low employee morale at the BCB. I made a courtesy call at BCB Northern Facility in Grand Bahama and gave a promise to return with the new executive chairman once the board was appointed to address those concerns.
Minister Zarota says there's a lot of work ahead and expectations are high.
But in visiting those domes along with my two colleagues, the MPs from North and South Abaco, we witnessed firsthand some domes with no electricity, some domes with backed up sewer, and you could imagine how hard it would be in them that may have just one window and one door.
But the good news is some promises have already been delivered, as he expressed his confidence that this New Day government will be true to its word and bring about bold new initiatives to address these many concerns. Some good news to report on Grand Bahama. The Grand Bahama Utility Company's reverse osmosis plant is now up and running. Officials announcing the completion of the much anticipated 3 million gallon reverse osmosis plant, which represents the largest investment of its kind for the Family Islands. Natalia Hall has more.
The Grand Bahama Utility Company's reverse osmosis plant will bring about full restoration of water potability to customers on Grand Bahama. Officials say they will test and monitor the quality of the water for 30 days as required by regulatory protocols. And during that period, the 25% discount will remain in place, and the company will still provide free drinking water via the water depots. The utility company's investment in the plan comes on the heels of catastrophic Hurricane Dorian, one of the strongest on record. The storm caused $3 million in damage to the utility company infrastructure, dumping 4 feet of floodwater at Wellfield 1 and 3, and 21 feet of flooding over an extended period of 36 hours at Wellfield 6, which supplied over 60% of the island's potable water supply. Director of Operations Filcher Grant, noting that the completion of the reverse osmosis plant marks a milestone achievement. She says while it has been a costly journey, she understands how difficult and taxing this ordeal has been for residents, but says they are pleased to have achieved this very important milestone not only for the Grand Bahama Utility Company, for those living on Grand Bahama as well. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
In other news, a captain with 20 years experience is calling on the government to take a serious look at the North Abaco Port project. Tonight he shares who stands to benefit, as he says there's too much misinformation surrounding this multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art port. It is a $39 million port in North Abaco constructed in Cooperstown. Once completed, it was announced that the 45.4-acre state-of-the-art port facility was expected to generate dozens of jobs and create new business opportunities in the growing North Abaco community. According to a local daily, the port concept included an inland port and harbor with a 2.8-acre basin and 6.58 feet draft. But since its construction over 6 years ago, Captain Scotty Boodle from North Abaco says the port has not been utilized to its maximum capacity.
Opening this port means you would see this port become a major hub because, like I say, it's opposite in non-Atlantic. This port sits on 45 acres of land. It's three times the size of Marshall. The port has 3 warehouses. The total capacity of warehouses is about 22,533 square feet of warehouses. Right now, based on what's happening in the shipping world right now, traffic is majorly backed up in the Pacific, California, as well as the Eastern Seaboard. Now, which means that a lot of the 3,000-ton ships can come into this port, and we have the capacity here to berth those vessels at 11-foot draft.
And he says with all of the challenges happening globally with transshipment, now is the right time to take advantage of this opportunity, as he shares how Grand Bahama also stands to benefit.
The location is this port right now, from North Abaco Port to Sandy Point, is a 2-hour drive. From this port to Crown Haven, it's about a 20-minute drive, 35 minutes to McLeanstown, 1 hour into Freeport. So you will find that Grand Bahamians would benefit from the activation of North Abaco Port, and it would do actually the same thing that Baker's Bay is doing right now, employing the Bahamas, but mainly Abaconians and Grand Bahamians.
With the possibility of hundreds of persons employed and spin-off opportunities, according to Captain Boodle, here's how he maps out who can be targeted for the North Abaco Port.
We would target, the market we'll target right now is the European cargo that has to work its way west. The Asian cargo would find its way into Panama Canal. We will become a hub between Panama and North Abaco Port. It's a 3.5-day voyage. We'll commence bunkering off port. We'll do pretty much the shipping, become a major shipping route, and we could do a lot of employment right now.
With 20 years' experience having sailed the North Sea, the English Channel, the Bay of Biscay, the North Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean Sea, he says there is too much misinformation surrounding the North Abaco Port, and he's making this appeal to the powers that be.
My appeal to the government, let's activate North Abaco Port. Let's look at what we have. Let's look at the facts that's on the table.
Well, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in celebration mode all week as we mark 31 years of television broadcasting here in the North. Tonight, the man who was instrumental in establishing television broadcasting on Grand Bahama is reflecting on that decision. Megan Shepard reports.
ZNS Northern Service is turning 31, and veteran journalist the Honorable Obadiah Wilshcombe is reflecting on the role he played in setting up a television station here on Grand Bahama. Minister Wilshcombe says he still remembers traveling to Grand Bahama with the goal of creating a station that would serve the Northern Bahamas. He shares the vision and intention that was set back in 1990.
We had started a number of pieces. Some production work was done, but obviously television is about growing a country. It's about causing people to have a fuller understanding of who they are, what they are, the issues around them. It's a form of education. It's a form of cultural proliferation. And that was everything we wanted to do to ensure that our people would be brought into the modern times and that we would provide a television station that would link our people to the rest of the country and at the same time cause Grand Bahama to be seen as it should be. Because there's so many people in this country still today that don't understand the difference between Freeport and East and West Grand Bahama and the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement and all that's connected to this island.
Now, while he fondly recalls the genesis of television here on Grand Bahama, he offered this critique for the Broadcasting Corporation.
I think we've seen some great broadcasters come through to the doors of broadcasting. Rick Lightburn. I think the mistake we're making, though, is that we're retiring people too early. The reality is, if you look at NBC and TNT just the other day, when we saw one of the great sports announcers at 75 is just retiring, you don't retire a voice. You don't retire the broadcasting excellence. That's a treasure trove. You don't let them leave. You hold on to them. So I think we have to make some changes there. We need to do more work in terms of production. We need to have more sitcoms. We need to have more documentaries done. We have to now go to another level. I think the time has come. But everything has to go through a phase because there's a phase of learning, there's a phase of experience, there's a phase of exposure. Once you get that, you can then go to the next step. I think now is the time.
And as to what he'd like to see from the corporation going forward.
But as a broadcaster, I'd like to see more documentaries. I'd like to see more feature pieces. I'd like to see us consider the fact that we need to be telling our story a bit differently, a bit more historical stuff. And I think we allow too much airtime to go free. Not used. The point is we spend more time with community announcements, and I think that has to change some. So that we should have been there by now, but we're not there. And I think it's because we've had so many changes over the years. I believe that the minister now responsible is going to put together a good team, and I think he's going to create a paradigm that's going to be for the 21st century that will give all of you new opportunities and new areas in which to work.
And to the employees of ZNS, Minister Wilshcombe says he is encouraging the station to continue to excel and raise the standards of broadcasting in the country.
No, I just wish you guys great success. I, from time to time, get a chance to watch. I think that when we were back in the day with Kelsey Johnson, Ed Bethel, Carl Bethel, Charles Carter, they had one standard. You had to be the best. We were never supposed to compromise being the best. And no matter what we do, you must understand that you are reaching and educating others. So the language is important, the look is important, the sound is important, every single thing you do. You must understand that you're impacting an entire country. So I'd like the standards to remain.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Come on down now. Come on down now.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Island Bedding is the Bahamas' leading manufacturer in mattress sets. But did you know we also carry top quality products like pillows, comforters, sheets, and much more. Our furniture line is also expanding to meet the needs of those rebuilding. We have bedroom sets, sofa beds, recliners, accent pieces, and so much more. Come and experience Island Bedding today, where everybody deserves their own island.
Best rate, no debate. Best rate, no debate.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast, with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no debate. Best rate, no debate.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Attention, all building contractors and home owners. Conant Bahamas, your competent home improvement store, now has in stock kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, porcelain tiles, vinyl and laminated flooring, PVC windows, and so much more. Visit any one of our 4 locations today: Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, or Eleuthera, where we are committed to offering excellent customer service. You dream it, we design it, we deliver it.
I want to congratulate ZNS on the 31st anniversary.
Happy 31st anniversary, ZNS Northern Bahamas.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Local government in East Grand Bahama celebrating the contributions of outstanding employees who have helped to grow the system of local governance in that district. Well, a special luncheon was recently held in their honor, and RJ Philippe was there.
The East Grand Bahama and Sweetens Key District holding a staff appreciation luncheon at the Ocean Reef Restaurant and Yacht Club in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the establishment of local government. 8 members of staff from East Grand Bahama and Sweetens Key received high praises from Christian Palacios, administrator of East Grand Bahama, for their respective roles within local government.
Local government practitioners come and go, but the staff remains. They play a very important part of local government and are very rarely recognized for that. They serve their communities. They're basically the PS. The PSs of the local government boards, because they would have to brief consuls when they come in about what was going on and things that are happening in the community. So it is with honor that we're recognizing them today.
Keynote speaker Fraser Gibson, a veteran community organizer and former chief counselor, delivering some inspiring words to those in attendance, challenging the staff members to reach to higher heights while commending them on the work that they have done and continue to do for the residents in East Grand Bahama. The honorees include Charmaine Tate, Patrice Higgs, Talisa Roll, Clarissa McIntosh, Jenny Carey, Percy Ballou, and Rosie Bain.
I'm very appreciative for them recognizing us. Personally, all of us have been in local government for over 20 years, and this is the 25th anniversary, and it feels good to be recognized and appreciated, because sometimes, you really don't feel that way, but today we are very honored and appreciative for this day.
Also on hand at the appreciation luncheon was Acting Chief Counselor for East Grand Bahama, Evelyn Roberts.
We are celebrating staff appreciation. We have staff in the office who actually do our work. What would we do without them?
According to organizers, this year's Silver Jubilee celebrations was strategically designed to highlight council members and administrative staff that have been the glue over the years, and particularly during post-Hurricane Dorian and now the current issues surrounding COVID-19. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jay. And now it's time for sports with our Rumiko Knowles.
This is ZNS Total Sports, the source for sports in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Topping sports health officials noting during the Office of the Prime Minister's press briefing that on the 13th of November, the emergency orders will fall away. But what does that mean for sports in the country? Several events are scheduled to take place in the nation's capital as well as in Grand Bahama. The Minister of Health says they are looking at adopting some of the measures used internationally to host these events.
This has been brought up because there's some events that's coming to the country. Sporting events, and we know from other parts of the world, they can create a bubble. And so our team is looking on ways on how we can create a similar environment for these type of events. It's not completed, and we want to ensure that we do not hinder our tourism sector and our economic growth, but we want to ensure that the safety of every Bahamian is paramount in the legislation that we'll bring forward.
Switching gears now, the second annual breast cancer pool tournament wrapping up over the weekend at the pool room on Queens Highway. Some of the best players from Grand Bahama, Abaco, and New Providence were in action, all competing for the cash prize and bragging rights. Event organizer Kevin Miller says although it was a competition, proceeds will go to the Breast Cancer Association.
We have players from mostly Nassau, Grand Bahama, and one player from the U.S. coming to battle for this tournament or for the championship. It's a 3-day event. We have singles, doubles, and 3-player team. And so obviously we're gonna have a lot of competition going on for the next few days.
Looking to walk away with the overall prize is Marcio Smith.
I traveled from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, to attend this tournament for the second time because it gives us a good awareness and help not only the Pool Federation but also the cause of cancer and letting them know we stand with them.
Heading into NBA action, Buddy Hield and the Sacktown Kings suffering their third loss of the season, losing to Dallas Mavericks 105-99. Buddy finished with 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist in 30 minutes of play. The Kings will tip off again on November 2nd against Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns are now 2-3 after topping the Cavaliers over the weekend 101-92. Ayton had 17 points and 12 rebounds in 24 minutes of play. The Suns will host the Pelicans on November 2nd. As for rookie Kai Jones and his Charlotte Hornets, they are 5-2 after their 125-113 win over the Portland Trail Blazers. And that's a check on sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, make it a great one.
Elevate your fiber home internet and unlock an unlimited mobile experience.
Hi, from Budget Pest Control. On Grand Bahama, there are only 2 types of homes, those with termites and those that will have termites. The signs you should look for are drywood termite fecal pellets, subterranean termite shelter tubes, and of course damaged wood. We now have on Grand Bahama the Coptotermes formosanus, or the super termite, which can do extreme damage in a very short period of time. To know more and to protect your investment, contact the termite experts at Budget Pest Control. With us, it's not just a company behind you, but a family. We are located on 13 Forest Avenue. Call us today at 351-7378.
Come on down to World Wholesale on Queens Highway in the Bamboo East Complex, opposite Yeager Funeral Home, where we sell the highest quality hurricane impact windows, doors, metal roofs, and hurricane shutters at the best prices you can find. Visit our store Monday to Friday from the hours of...
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast, with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with ZNS to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
anniversary to ZNS Northern Service.
Happy 31st anniversary, ZNS Northern Bahamas. All the best.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Bandisha Thompson, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We say thank you for your support. And this one also goes out to all of the friends and family members of Wintroy Fowler who came out in grand style this weekend to support his homegoing service. And that is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Arkeson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tonight, the National Report, an end to the competent authority. The opposition and the government butt heads over COVID's management. Fairness in the judiciary. And tourism on an upward trajectory. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news, the nation's leader will on Tuesday take the world stage as he addresses the climate change conference underway in Glasgow, Scotland. Accompanying him, a high-level delegation. More than 120 world leaders are participating in the climate talks, setting the tone for negotiations on cutting emissions by 2030 in order to reduce the fallout from global warming. This is climate change experts and leaders are calling the summit the world's last chance to address the climate crisis. Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis provided more insight ahead of his address tomorrow.
I'm here sitting with the technical team, getting an understanding of what the technical issues are that impact us as a country and where we are in respect to advancing our cause and challenging the world to look at what is happening to our country in particular. Like, yesterday was us, and tomorrow it could be them, and to motivate them to do more for small island developing states like us, because the cost to adapt and to mitigate in respect to the consequences of climate change is humongous.
Now, the Prime Minister also spoke to what Bahamians and residents can expect coming out of those bilateral meetings.
We are not going to leave here without having a clear understanding of what we will get for what they would have done to us. And I'm pleased that since our intervention at the United Nations, the world is awakened to our cause, and yes, many of the industrialized countries have reached out to me to sit with me while I'm here, and we're hoping to fit everyone in as best we can. But at the end of the day, it is these bilateral engagement that will advance our cause.
Meantime, forecasters are predicting not only more intense hurricanes, but with them sea level rise. For us here at home, this means more flooding. Well, local officials have devised a new resource tool that, among other benefits, will allow them to accurately report crucial weather features like storm surges. Carla Palmer reports.
Primarily during the hurricane season, the Bahamas is an island nation prone to flooding, with storm surges building as high as 20 feet in some areas. Now, with the Hurricane Surge Forecasting Atlas for the Bahamas nearly completed after almost a year, meteorologists will soon be able to, with accuracy, inform residents if they are safe from flooding or whether they should evacuate. Acting Director at the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, is leading the charge.
What we'll be able to do now from this is to determine what level of flooding we can expect on any part of any island that would be impacted by a hurricane in the future. So we'll be able to say to certain settlements, listen, you guys only going to get about 3 feet of storm surge. Some you'll get 15 feet. and some you wouldn't get any at all.
It's a pilot project funded by the Green Climate Fund, focusing now on 2 islands prone to flooding, Eleuthera and Grand Bahama.
Any system any hurricane that is at least 5 days out, okay, once we see a hurricane is at least 5 days from us, then we start to run the model, and every 6 hours we would do an update. We run an update every 6 hours, and then we'll be able to, until the storm actually passes by us. All the installation is now being completed on our server, so that we have it here at the Department of Meteorology, so that we can better advise NEMA whenever these hurricanes are approaching.
Simmons says the focus is on those islands most vulnerable.
Once the data become available for ARBOC, we'll be looking at doing that right away, definitely. And then we also be looking at others like Bimini and those western islands like Cat Island, San Salvador, Long Island, and the Exumas, and maybe even further south into Mayaguana.
As it stands now, Simmons says additional funding is the only holdup.
We are actively seeking funding for all of the islands in the Bahamas. The information that we need is not readily available for all of the islands in the Bahamas. So first we have to work along with other agencies in terms of developing the topographic data that we would need.
Simmons is also touting the Storm Surge Atlas for use in national urban development.
This can actually be a planning tool for persons or really for agencies, especially when it comes to developing government infrastructure on the islands, so that we don't build expensive structures in known flood-prone areas. And attached to this also is what we call climate change.
Staff at the Met Office is being trained in utilizing the tool that is hoped will be extended soon to cover other Bahama islands. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
In other news this evening, emergency orders will end in just a matter of days, as will the designation competent authority. Announcing as much in Parliament this morning was the health minister, who also spoke to changes to the local management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's Keishla Adderley.
The Health Service COVID-19 Prevention and Management of Community Spread and Health Services COVID-19 General Rules will replace the current emergency orders. The rules eliminate the competent authority and redirect oversight of the COVID-19 pandemic. Health Minister the Honourable Michael Darville announced the changes in Parliament this morning.
On the 13th of this month, the current COVID-19 emergency orders will fall away, and the competent authority will be dismantled. We are amending Section 29 of the existing Health Services Act so that the management of the COVID-19 pandemic will now be the responsibility of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The rules also set new terms for travel, both international and domestic.
The Bahamas and the requirements for domestic international travel is also in the rules, and the rules also address testing requirements and specific circumstances that would permit exemptions from the COVID testing strategies.
The new regulations focus on enforcement and keeping track of numbers as well, all as new case numbers that have lingered, along with hospitalizations and deaths, are finally waning.
I am very pleased to report that in recent weeks, the COVID cases, counts, and the nation positivity rates have been falling. On Saturday, for example, there were 11 positive cases of the 385 PCR tests conducted, for a positivity rate of 2%. This represents extraordinary progress. We are pleased to note that this improvement took place despite the changing the curfews that they said caused the spikes in the cases.
Meantime, as the government prepares to receive another tranche of vaccines come next week, negotiations are ongoing for the provision of Pfizer vaccines for children.
We are also negotiating with the United States and via other diplomatic channels to bring into country the Pfizer-approved vaccine for children under the age of 12. Vaccine uptake among children and teenagers will help to pave the way to a safe reopening of our schools. But I want to be clear that this vaccine will be made available to children should their parents request it.
Minister Darville notes the end to emergency orders doesn't mean an end to the pandemic and emphasizes that winning the war against COVID-19 is everyone's fight. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, the opposition leader and the health minister locking horns over the management of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic in country. Taking the lead for his parliamentary team in the debate on the speech from the throne this morning was Killarney MP, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, who threw out a number of questions, all centred around the government's efforts to protect family islands against the virus.
On the campaign trail, the now government promised mass testing. When will this free mass testing begin? What type of free testing does the government plan to offer? PCR tests are the top level test for the virus that causes the COVID. It is the intention of this government to make mass testing PCR type free? Do they have the number of tests required, and how much will it cost? How frequently?
A free COVID-19 testing pilot program was launched on Inagua on October 20th. However, in a fiery response, Health Minister the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville dismissed Minnis's claims as pure rhetoric, charging that his government is already taking steps to correct the defects left in place.
When we came in, we met a situation burning as a direct result of neglect from the former administration. There was a cluster that was untaken care of, and as minister, I was catapulted to be able to address the situation. People died as a result of neglect from the former administration, inability to put the right protocols in place and to repair our family island clinics to deal with what they were dealing with. Immediately on coming to office, we had to use the resources of the Bahamas Defense Force to begin to move essential materials, essential products into the family island to address the clusters.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Across the Bahamas, we're more connected than ever before as we upgrade and expand our network, elevating your connection with BTC Superfast Fiber Internet. More people can access the best high-speed internet on our upgraded all-fiber optic network, providing you with a better experience working remotely, learning virtually, accessing more from home, and connecting with more opportunities. Visit our website or any store to upgrade to our super-fast fiber internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
KFC Saucy Wings gives you the choice. A precisely calculated chicken to sauce ratio for that perfect wing experience. Or a totally wild, completely coated sauce adventure that transcends traditional flavor boundaries. Whatever your choice, get sauced with KFC Saucy Wings for the perfect amount of flavor. saucy wings at KFC Nassau. So good.
Mama, bake the Johnny Cake Christmas coming. Mama, bake the Johnny Cake Christmas coming. Christmas coming. Christmas coming. Christmas coming. Christmas coming. Christmas coming. Mama, bake the Johnny Cake Christmas coming.
Celebrate this Christmas with BOV.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We continue with news from Parliament. It's there that the tourism minister disclosed tourism numbers, those numbers reflecting a lower than expected fallout from COVID-19 and forecast the top industries return with scores of new flights and markets previously cut off due to COVID restrictions. Kishla Adderley has more.
As the flood of COVID-19 restrictions slowly recede after more than a year and a half, tourism officials are looking forward to the return of European and Canadian visitors in a bigger and better way. Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, the Honourable Chester Cooper.
As Air Canada and British Airways come back, and coincidentally British Airways will bring 6 flights per week on stream, along with a new Virgin transatlantic service to Nassau beginning in 2 weeks, we are confident of the return of our Canada, UK, and European markets. Yes, we are coming back with a vengeance.
The resilience following border closures that brought tourism to its knees and travel hesitancy, which kept arrivals low and revenue lean. The tourism minister notes that in spite of this, the forecasts aren't as bad as they could have been.
In November, we are down only 7% from 2019 levels, averaging 4,356 seats per day. In December, in terms of arrivals, we will be down only 9% compared to 2019, averaging 5,214 seats per day into Nassau. The airlines are responding.
International air capacity to the Bahamas is expected to be down by 20.6% in October 2021 compared to October 2019, while the outlook for October to December 2021 is expected to trail the same period in 2019 by 9.7%. Meantime, in markets like Latin America, the forecasts have superseded expectations, and key U.S. markets show positive signals.
Certain Latin American markets also showed a significant recovery, with some exceeding pre-COVID volumes. The outlook for air travel from our key source markets for October to December has improved significantly, with bookings over the period trailing the same period in 2019 by just 10%, buoyed by the positive outlook for U.S. travelers and the pent-up demand.
American Airlines will increase its presence with direct flights from Austin Bergstrom International Airport to Nassau and new flights from Miami, Charlotte, New York, Washington, D.C., Dallas, and Philadelphia. And Frontier Airlines is becoming a larger player in Bahamian tourism arrivals.
Frontier Airlines is operating direct flights from Miami International Airport to Nassau 3 times a week and is launching direct flights to Nassau from New York Liberty International Airport. Frontier will also service non-stop flights to Nassau from Orlando, as well as from Philadelphia, starting tomorrow.
And officials look forward to many better tomorrows. Minister Cooper reports significant new inquiries for foreign direct and domestic investment projects. This as he urged local investors to come forward with travel-ready projects and vowed to undertake weekly meetings of the National Economic Council and clear the backlog of projects pending approval. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Minister Cooper also at the time decried the state of several Family Island airports, including those in his constituency of Exuma and Ragged Island, as well as Grand Bahama.
I am advised of a March 2023 date for completion of the Exuma Airport Terminal. I have, however, suggested to the contractors that the people of Exuma would be much happier if this date was December 2022. For Ragged Island, until we can determine a long-term plan for the airport terminal, we will immediately construct a gazebo with public restrooms as a temporary solution. 4 years after Irma, still no restrooms at the airport in Ragged Island. It's shameful. And we will do something about it. There is no doubt that the Grand Bahama International should belong to the Bahamian people, and while we believe that the deal in place could have been improved so that there is less of a burden on the Bahamian Treasury, you will now see swift and decisive action over the next few months. Tied to the Grand Bahama International Airport is a U.S. pre-clearance facility that our administration hopes to be able to return to Grand Bahama once traffic improves.
An independent tribunal to oversee police corruption could soon be the order of the day. This news as Minister of State for Legal Affairs, the Honourable Jomo Campbell, speaks to a number of issues facing the justice system. Making his inaugural contribution in the House of Assembly early today, the Minister of State outlined the administration of justice as a top priority for this current administration. And that's why, according to Campbell, his ministry will seek to introduce legislation for the creation of an independent review board that will oversee grievances brought up in the Royal Bahamas Police Force Complaints and Corruption Department. The news comes amid heavy public scrutiny following the widely circulated video of a young woman appearing to be assaulted by plainclothes police officers.
For too long, officers have been the judges over themselves. And this ought not continue be the case, as it leaves room for unfair verdicts, even if unintentionally so. We will seek to implement legislation that will create a criminal alternative dispute resolution department within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. This will strengthen the public confidence in policemen who have often been portrayed as robotic without any room to reason.
The minister also outlining the proposal of a new two-tier system which will make room for fairness for both defendants and complainants at the investigative level, thereby eliminating a backlog in the court system.
This system will introduce a two-tier system, whereby after the initial arrest, there is a mandatory CARD within 12 to 24 hours. And should that not prove successful, then the process moves to a full and thorough investigation, as is the case, presently the case. There will also be a right to an attorney for both the complainant and the accused during the first term.
Well, the Minister of State responsible for the National Insurance Board today bringing to the fore some of the issues he and his team had to immediately tackle, like the suspended accounts of nearly 10,000 pensioners. According to Minister Miles Larota, such action was taken in mid-September due to non-verification compliance.
I'm advised that this suspension of non-verified accounts was considered as early as July 2021. It was then put off until August of 2021, and then to mid-September of 2021. Reactivating those accounts was not as easy as flipping a switch, Madam Speaker. This problem has since been rectified, but the question is, why was it done in the first place? There was also the issue of NIB clients receiving or renewing their NIB smart cards and resolving benefit issues. These cards are essential for many government applications. I received countless complaints concerning the issue. Rest assured, these matters are being addressed. There has also been the issue of hiring, promotions, supersessions. Madam Speaker, up until the day that I visited, which would have been a few weeks after we were elected, the National Insurance Board was hiring employees.
The Ministry of Public Services to undergo a staffing and skills audit, and that's to determine its gaps and deficiencies, and by the same token, to set a roadmap for where things need to be. As State Public Services Minister, the Honourable Pio Glover-Roll explained in her maiden speech to Parliament.
This roadmap will include upskilling and capacity building exercises, especially for HR and communications professionals. We will involve all necessary stakeholders, including relevant departments, ministries, and unions, to get this initiative done. While we perform this audit, we will also be looking into cases where public servants were passed over for promotion in favor of others. There are many legitimate reasons why an employee may be superseded for a promotion. But there are also instances where there may be areas of concern.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tourism today. Bahamas Tourism today.
The White Sands Bahamas Golf Invitational is back at the Ocean Club Golf Course on Paradise Island. This year's competition includes 19 teams led by the host schools, University of Miami and the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. The Honorable I. Chester Cooper, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, tells us why events like this are important for the Bahamas.
This is what tourism is all about. Sports tourism is important to our country. This has been a fantastic golfing event. We see young people and their parents come to our shores to enjoy a golfing tournament. This is just fantastic. NCAA Invitational right here at Ocean Club. They stayed at Atlantis. They've enjoyed the city of Nassau. They enjoyed our islands. This is a win-win proposition. I am told that the women's tournament completed earlier in the week. The men's tournament completed today. Kirsten Bates was the winner of the women's tournament, and I am told that she said this is the best course she has ever played on. That's a testament to the work here, the work being done by Ocean Club and Atlantis to make them feel very much at home and very comfortable.
For updates, visit whitesandsbahamas.com. I'm Electa Knowles, and this is Tourism Today.
COVID-19?
attacked our personal and national psyche. We fought back. We adjusted our consciousness so that we could wrap our minds around the impossible and unbelievable things we were going through. But guess what? Nobody escaped. That means there was nobody who was too pretty, too cute, too important, too holy, or too rich to escape the mental trauma and battering of COVID-19. We can allow COVID-19 to destroy us or defeat us, or we can make a decision right now to act in a manner that supports wellness for ourselves and for the nation. So let's act to restore and sustain our personal sense of well-being and our national mental health status. We're all involved. It's that important.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
ISL Bahamas is a software development company. We provide payroll software and services for over 500 companies. Using ISL Payroll, our clients are able to produce accurate and timely national insurance contribution statements for posting to their NIB accounts. The beauty in NIB's employer self-service portal is that our clients have the power to upload these statements directly into NIB's system, eliminating the manual process which results in delay in posting to our client's account. We are working hand in hand with NIB to ensure that our clients are registered for the ESS portal and know how to use it. I look forward to further technology, innovation, and progress from NIB. You should sign up today at ess@nib-bahamas.com.
Transfer money internationally now through the Cash and Go mobile wallet. It is easy and secure with no wait lines, as you can transfer funds at your convenience even from the comfort of your home. Send and receive money with no restrictive times, and use your debit or credit card if you want to go cashless at no additional cost. All transactions are saved in the mobile wallet, and there is 24/7 in-app support. Cash and Go's mobile wallet, now with international transfer. Easy, simple, safe, and secure.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
The Court of Appeal has upheld the conviction and sentence of Lee Sweeting, who is serving a 45-year prison term for killing his father back in November 2017. Sweeting had applied to the court for an extension of time to appeal his conviction and sentence on the grounds that it is unduly harsh and that the judge failed to order a psychiatric report for him. However, after hearing from both sides, the court dismissed Sweeting's application. This after the court found that Sweeting failed to give a realistic reason for the 2 years it took for him to appeal his sentence, noting that there was no evidence during the trial that he suffered a mental disorder when he killed his father. Evidence revealed that Sweeting killed his father to prevent him from informing his family and the police that he had broken into his father's home. The panel noted that the act suggests a degree of premeditation and Sweeting was not using drugs at the time. The court also found that a person capable of the cunning execution of a family member with whom he held no grudge and for whom he ought to have some affinity in all likelihood poses a danger to other members of the community, as he does not share any affinity with them. An All Points bulletin issued for a 30-year-old man on the run. Roland Brown's wanted for assault with a dangerous instrument Police say the Windsor Lane resident is dark-skinned, between 5'6" and 5'9", and slim-built. Anyone with information on his whereabouts should call the Cable Beach Division at 327-8800. Well, modern medicine impacting the world in many ways. In less than a year, COVID vaccinations were produced on a large scale. Now, while the journey has been a much longer one in the case of AIDS, those inflicted with that virus now have much more hope today than they did yesteryear. Crystal Darling tells us more.
We can have babies that are born without HIV, born to mothers who are HIV positive. And in the year 2019, we had no babies that were born with HIV in the Bahamas.
Just one out of the many waves of progress made through the use of modern HIV medications and treatments. Director of the National HIV and AIDS Infectious Disease Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, says the illness, once costly to treat and consequently with a higher mortality rate, is now on its way out.
Treatment can be as simple as one pill once a day. And treatments are free in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so if you come into the public care system, you can get those medicines for free. And if you are seeing a private doctor, those medicines are also given to your private doctors to distribute, and the cost is, there's no cost transmitted to the patient.
Around for decades, HIV is sexually transmitted with the potential to develop into full-blown AIDS. And according to Forbes, there are certain groups that are still more vulnerable than others.
They may include men who have sex with men, transgendered women, for example, commercial sex workers, and their partners. And also there's a risk, as I said, if you're having unprotected sexual intercourse. And so there's youth that are marginalized, and there is definitely young girls and women who are vulnerable. And so there are several groups that could be at risk.
Nowadays, with medications having greatly improved, coupled with new breakthroughs in science and technology, living with HIV or AIDS does not have to be a death sentence. Forbes says there are more effective medications that have less side effects and more high-quality generic medicines on the market.
Something very, very pivotal happened, and that is long-acting antiretroviral therapy. For the last 5 years, this has been in clinical trials. And there are medicines that can be either injected or given in an infusion that can be given less frequently, like say every 4 weeks. That can make it easier. You wouldn't have to remember to take a pill every day. And so those medicines are coming into clinical use now. We do not have them in our region yet, but it is definitely a great thing that we now have this option that makes treatment easier.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
And as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Having a policy with Bahama Health is more than just health insurance. It's about feeling good knowing that your health and wellness is covered. It's about the confidence you feel knowing that your card is accepted by over 50 pharmacies and 400 local doctors. It's about peace of mind, knowing that when you travel, you have comprehensive coverage and our overseas partner is just a phone call away. It's about the security you feel, knowing that you're an important part of the family.
Join the family.
One of the biggest challenges I face as a teen mother is support throughout the community. Instead of the community trying to uplift teen mothers, they insist on bringing us down and trying to tear down our self-esteem. Becoming a teen mother helped me to realize that I need to be more responsible. It helps me to focus on my decisions because I need not to decide for myself anymore. I have to make decisions for me and my daughter. In my opinion, seeking health services was excellent for me. Honestly, my biggest support, other than the nurses, was my Grammy. The advice that I give to other teens out there is to stay focused on your education. Stay focused on your self-goals. Set goals for yourself.
Looking for super savings? Well, look no further than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Healthy Choice Soups, 15 ounce, $1.99. Distinction UHT milk, 1 liter, $1.79. Mott's apple juice, 1 gallon, $6.59. Cello carrots, 2-pound bag, $1.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. That's super value and quality supermarkets.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security and retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Meetings have taken place with the Grand Lucayne Renewals Limited Group in reference to the beleaguered property the former administration purchased 2 years ago. Tourism and Investments Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, not straying from a point he's long held, and that said the deal could have been better.
In fact, the deal the former administration was prepared to enter into was worse than I thought. After the government pumped over $150 million into this property, the group at the table wanted a loan from the government to develop the property, which they were only interested in developing during the second half of the decade. You hear me, eh? The second half of the decade.
How much years left from now? 10 years from now?
Now, although I am tempted, I will reserve further comment on this matter. But suffice to say, there's got to be a new day for Grand Bahama too. Madam.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. Outside of our studios, we are under mostly cloudy skies. Temperature 79 degrees. Your relative humidity 69%. We have easterly winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.7 millibars. That's 30.05 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll, Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The Berry Islands at 81, 80 degrees at Alistown, Bimini, 80 also in Harbor Island, Roxani, Luttrell, Black Point, Exuma, 83, Kemps, Basil Andros, and Fresh Creek and Central Landers also at 83 degrees. Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rim Key, and Georgetown, Exuma all reporting 80s, 83 in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Megawana, 82, Acklands, 82, Matthew Town, Inagua, 85, and the Texas Turks and Caicos Islands, also at 85 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter in the Northwest and Central Islands. So winds northeast at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. You can expect that low tide at 11:59 tonight. For the southeast, Bahamas, northeasterly winds 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet, and that means caution flags are in place for boaters in the southeastern Bahamas tonight. Tomorrow, in the northwestern parts of our country, the winds become northeast, increasing to 15 knots, wave heights building 3 to 5 feet, high tide 6:10 in the morning, low tide at 12:28 in the afternoon. For the Central Islands, northeast at 10 to 15, wave heights 2 to 4. And for the southeast Bahamas, you can expect a little stronger winds at 12 to 18 knots, also out of the northeast, wave heights at 3 to 6 feet, and that caution flag remain in place for the southeast Bahamas tomorrow. As we take you into Wednesday, midweek in the northwest and central islands, the winds continue to rotate clockwise, becoming northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights at 2 to 4 feet, high tide 6:58 in the morning, the low tide will take place at 1:20 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas on Wednesday, northeast to east as well, 12 to 18 knots, no change in the caution flag status, wave heights at 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Continue to fight, give them peace and love, and everything will be all right.
For your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Wait, that's you?
Girl, don't be calling my name in public like that. What you saying?
Hey, radio. Why are you here?
Come to get my car license.
Yeah, but you don't have to be here.
No?
No, you could just go to My Gateway. My Gateway is a fast, easy, and secure way to access and pay all government services online.
So what you do?
I went to mygateway.gov.bs, registered with a government-issued ID, and bam, I was done. I scheduled an appointment, and in less than 20 minutes, I was straight.
Oh, shoot.
At BPL, we are champions of safety. There is nothing more important to us than the safety of our employees, our customers, and our communities throughout the Bahamas. Working safely begins with open communication. It's key to operating safely. Before we approach any project, we perform pre-job briefings to discuss any hazards, concerns, or dangers that could occur in the execution of our duties. Working safely, for me, means that my crews are issued with work permits before performing any task. We isolate our system and lock out, tag out. This signals to our crew that they are now safe to begin making any repair.
The past is what drives us, but it is no more. In it, we learn valuable lessons about where we came from. The future is what we aspire to, but it is yet to be written. Thinking about it allows us to plan for a better tomorrow. The present is the only thing we possess right now. It is the moment when we rise to the occasion, so that we stand in the beauty and wonder of who we are, where our strength really matters, because our resilience speaks for itself. We plan for where we are today, a strong company, a powerful network, built by the people, for the people, because we believed in best, because we lived for the moments, and we delivered. You know what we were, and now you get to see who we are. We are alive.
Imagine what it would be like if there wasn't a referee. That's why we have a referee, to make sure that we all play fair. As an independent regulator, IRCA has been working with consumers and service providers since 2009. to ensure that the regulated sectors are well managed and that everyone's interests are fairly represented. That way, we all get to play on an even playing field. IRCA, improving lives through effective utilities regulation.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
The University of the Bahamas men's soccer team got in the win column over the weekend after playing a series of matches in Florida. The Mingos picked up a 3-0 win over Trinity College. UB got 2 goals from Rishon Roll and 1 from Kamari Hanna, all in the first half.
I was filled with adrenaline. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't score more because I was competing with Sean. But we got the dub at the end of the day, and I'm very excited.
They execute the plan. We pass the ball a lot. We move the ball around, and results we get goals with patience. We attack wide, and we attack up the middle. We push the ball around. We look good. I like what we saw today, and we came out with victory. The guys had courage. The keeper, Aaron, was great today. He had some saves that saved us to keep a clean sheet. We had midfielders was pushing the ball around, and the guys are now developing, and I like what to see. Now we have to go back home and practice on our weak spot.
Well, despite inclement weather, founder of the Diamond Basketball Development Organization, Terrence McSweeney, was determined to officially launch his primary school girls program over the weekend. The program, held at the Hope Center Ministries on Saturdays, is designed to assist primary school girls with improving their basketball skills. Founder Dr. Carlos Reed encouraged the girls to live a purpose-driven life.
So if I could leave something with you today, it would be this. You got to discover your purpose, man. Every person on planet Earth has a purpose. God is not that cold, because the Word of God says He's no respecter of persons. He would not give somebody a gift and don't give somebody else a gift. He wouldn't give somebody purpose and don't give somebody else a purpose. Every last one of us have a purpose. But what God does is He hide our purpose where we could find it. You don't have to look in the world to find your purpose. You got to look on the inside of you.
Also addressing the girls was Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernando, whose daughter is part of the program.
I think that Terrence McSweeney has shown us, through the collaboration with Dr. Reed, a church, that we can make a difference one child at a time, one person at a time. No one is being paid, but I think that these programs need to be in every basketball court in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, that we could make opportunities through the guest coaches that are here today, that education can be the way forward.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
We're ready with the newly remodeled reception area. We're ready with your safety as our top priority. We're ready with state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and an enhanced patient information platform with online access to your reports for your physician. At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we're ready to serve you. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call to make an appointment today.
Opens, which means a new agenda for education. 2 ministers with passion for education and the development of our youth. the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, and the Minister of State, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne. Minister Lightbourne shares his vision for education.
I'm looking forward to legislation, education, the new Education Act will be enforced. We are looking forward to that. Also moving education out of the public service, because we realize the giant of the public service creates a bureaucracy that frustrates teachers, frustrates other educators, managers, administrators. We want to be able to manage our HR matters. We want to be able to bring new curriculum and force to cause students to have an appreciation for not only our culture and the ministry, but to get an appreciation for savings in the economy and regular day life. So we're looking for the part of technical vocational training to be expanded, and all of the new systems that we plan to put in place to cause that to happen.
The State Minister stresses the importance of stakeholder involvement in the education process.
I think that all of our stakeholders need to understand that this is a journey. We're going to need all hands on deck. So parents who have not been involved before in their children's lives would have to now be very much involved in this process. We have persons at the Ministry of Education who will do their part to make sure that we supply our teachers with the necessary equipment, with the necessary support that they would need in order to impart quality education to our children.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
Want to stay in the know? Subscribe. Text 819-BMOE. That's 819-2663. Remember to like and subscribe to our social media platforms.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment. Best rate, no delays. Best rate, no delays. Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
COVID-19 attacked our personal and national psyche. We fought back. We adjusted our consciousness so that we could wrap our minds around the impossible and unbelievable things we were going through. But guess what? Nobody escaped. That means there was nobody who was too pretty, too cute, too important, too holy, or too rich to escape the mental trauma and battering of COVID-19. We can allow COVID-19 to destroy us, or defeat us, or we can make a decision right now to act in a manner that supports wellness for ourselves and for the nation. So let's act to restore and sustain our personal sense of well-being and our national mental health status. We're all involved. It's that important.
Here are your COVID-19 isolation tips. Protecting others while in quarantine or self-isolation. While in quarantine or self-isolation, use safety measures to protect yourself and community from spreading COVID-19. Being in quarantine or self-isolation can make you feel anxious or stressed. Ensure that you take care of your emotions. Physical distancing does not mean socially disconnected. Stay connected with family and friends digitally. Keep a daily routine. Exercise daily, get rest, eat healthy, engage in activities, avoid unhealthy behaviors, and seek information from credible sources. You are not alone. Contact our hotline at 819-7652 or any of the numbers that appear on your screen.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather in the tropics, Wanda has transitioned to a tropical storm, and that is now moving towards the east-northeast at about 7 miles per hour, with a further turn towards the northeast expected over the next couple of days, with some slight strengthening possible over the next couple of days as well. Maximum sustained winds right now at 45 miles per hour. Satellite pictures showing an old fault boundary still across the extreme southeast Bahamas, and that will continue to fire up some showers and thunderstorms around the Turks and Caicos Marquesas Islands and Inagua, and that will gradually start to back up over the southeast Bahamas tomorrow and eventually over the central parts of the country Wednesday and Thursday, generating showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be heavy at times. Partly cloudy and mild tonight here in the northwestern parts of the country with a low temperature of 73 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at periods of clouds and sunshine with 1 or 2 passing showers, very possible. High temperature tomorrow should get up to a comfortable 83 degrees. Extended weather forecast, we are going to keep you in the low 80s up until Wednesday, so we'll see a slight increase in those temperatures just ahead of another frontal system, which we expect to push through here late on Friday. That will bring with it some showers and thunderstorms. Behind that, a nice cool down will take place over the weekend with lots of sunshine returning to our forecast on Saturday headed into Sunday. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And as we celebrate our 44th year of television, it feels great to be your home. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.